Greetings, boys, girls, and gender rebels. I'm Penny Underbust, and you are joining me today for a frequently asked questions video. I've never done one of these before, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. Let's find out. Question number 1. What does underbust mean? My name on these here interbluts is Penny Underbust, or at least that's one of the names that I go by, and people frequently ask me what the underbust portion of that means. It actually doesn't have anything to do with my breasts. It is the name of a corset type. There's two primary forms of corsets, underbusts and overbusts, and all that really means is like the ones that either go over your boobs or sit like just underneath your pecs. I don't want to say boobs. There's plenty of people wear corsets who don't have boobs, but you know, the ones that sit underneath your pectorals are called underbusts, and those are the primary corsets that I wear. And the reason that I use the name is actually just because when I was very, very, very first starting modeling and I was signing up for a DeviantArt account, DeviantArt was the first place that I posted really anything online, but the name underbust wasn't taken, and so I just started using it, and just my name, Penny, and then underbust kind of just happened organically. Second question, where am I from? So I'm actually from Australia. I have an interesting accent though. My parents are both Kiwis or New Zealanders, and both of them have odd accents for where they are from as well. And on top of that, I am a child of the internet, so I grew up mostly with having friends online living in different countries. So a lot of the people that I socialized with during my developmental years had American accents or British accents. Also, primarily, one of the main things that I did as a child was watch television, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that, but specifically the sort of television that I tended to watch was British comedy. And so I think that also had somewhat of an effect on the way that I pronounce words, just because when you watch a lot of television, you tend to learn new words to use. And when you hear British people pronouncing them, and it's like your first experience with that word, it's just, you assume that's how it sounds for everyone. Also, my mother is deaf in one ear. So growing up, if we slurred our words too much, which is very, very common for Australians to do, she wouldn't understand what we were saying. My brother and I have a brother, by the way, that's why I say we. My brother and I both are very well spoken as a result of this, just because if we wanted to talk to our mother, we had to speak very clearly. Question the third. Do I have back pain? No, I don't have back pain. I know that's such a rough thing for people to believe. I do not understand why it is so hard for people to comprehend, but no, I do not have back pain. I've done a whole rant video before on like the fact that I don't think there's as much correlation between breast size and back pain as the media would like us to believe. But on top of that, I work out like a lot. I have very, very strong core. I have good posture. I don't have back pain. I'm lucky. Plenty of people have back pain, especially considering our modern lifestyles of sitting at computers for most of the day, being hunched over at our desks, and we're not nearly as fit a humanity as we were even just 20 years ago. But I don't have back pain. I don't. I know that people want me to complain about it. Like they enjoy the thought of me being in pain for my beauty or whatever. But I really hate getting that question. It irritates me a lot. No, I don't have back pain. Question the fourth. How tall am I? So this one, it changes slightly depending on my posture. I'm 5'10" or 178 centimeters tall. But if I'm like slouching or, if I'm just lazy, it's more like 5'9.5" or like 176 or 175 or whatever. It fluctuates slightly, but 5'10" is probably the most accurate answer to that question. Question number 5. Am I single? No, I'm not single. I'm married. I've been married for 5 years now, and I have been with my husband like in just a relationship for over 7 years. We're super duper close, and I love him very much. Question number 6. How did you and your husband meet? I've actually already done a whole video on this, which I'll probably pop somewhere up on the screen right now so you can get linked to it. But we met playing Team Fortress 2, actually. So I was playing video games. For those of you who don't know what Team Fortress 2 is, it is an online competitive first-person shooter. So it's very similar to Overwatch. It's kind of I'm pretty sure that Overwatch was heavily influenced by Team Fortress 2. For those of you who don't even know what Overwatch is, though, it's basically just shooting other people on the internet in cartoony fun ways. So very specifically, my husband was playing a character that is called Heavy. He's big and slow and does a lot of damage, and I liked playing a character that is called Medic, who heals people, and one of the best people for him to heal is the Heavy. And the very, very first thing I ever said to my husband, he opened his voice, because it was an all talk server. He opened his beautiful, beautiful mouth to say something, and I can't even remember what it was that he said, but I just heard his voice and I said, "Oh, holy crap, you should never not be talking," because my husband just has the most delightful voice. I know people compliment me on mine all of the time, but I think mine is largely good because I have an accent and I enunciate, but his voice is just good. It's just good. All right, so most of those questions are ones that I don't actually mind talking about, obviously, apart from the back pain one. But the next ones are going to be a little bit more obnoxious. Question number 6. Why don't you pose topless? All right, so the short and boring answer to this question is that I don't want to. I don't want to pose topless. I don't want to. And if you don't want to do something and there's no very compelling reason for why you should do it, like, it's your education, you should go to school today, don't do it. Like, it's don't do it. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. But the longer, more complicated answer to that question is that I'm very contrary. The more pressure I get to do a thing, the less likely I am to do it. Like, initially, if people had have been less obnoxious about that in my very, very early days of modeling, when I was first sort of establishing myself as a fetish model or whatever kind of my very first branding for myself was, I probably would have done topless. Like, it would have organically gone to that. But people pressured me from it from like the very first time I posted any pictures, even though it was focused on corsetry at first. And it really bothered me. Like, it just really pissed me off that people would take this thing that I was giving to them for free and, like, putting my own time and effort in, and, like, they'd take it and all they would have to say about it was, do it this other way that I would prefer that you do it. And that just rubs me the wrong way. And that same thing can be said for fucking most of life. And it has been an ongoing struggle for me my entire existence. I just have the hardest time doing things if people act fucking entitled about it or pressury. Like, I just, it's just the way that I work. I don't react well at all to people pressuring me into something, and I will usually very specifically do the opposite. Like, when I was 14 years old, I was that kid who you could usually get to do something by telling them that you bet that they couldn't do it. Like, we're like, oh, but now I'm not a kid. That doesn't work anymore, but yeah. So yeah, short answer, I just don't wanna. Big answer, the more you ask, the less likely it is that it is ever going to happen. Are your breasts real? No, they're not real. They're very, very fake. Like, I had very large real breasts to begin with. They were like a G or a H or whatever. Like, its cup sizes are very fluid once you're past like a C, but they were very large naturally. And so at first I had my first breast augmentation, I had 800 cc's of silicone put in, and And I didn't actually notice much of a difference with that size implant in my chest. Like, it was such a fractional difference considering how large they were to begin with, that I had a second augmentation, and I had 2,530 cc's of saline put in my chest. And now to me, I think they look incredibly fake. Like, I know the way that fake boobs sit versus real boobs, but people still, because I have all of that natural flesh on top of the implants, people still regularly assume that my breasts are real. And I'll have people like arguing in my comments section about it. Like, they're so certain that my breasts are real because they jiggle and because they squish and because, you know, just all of those things that people think that fake boobs can't and don't do. But a lot of the preconceived notions of what a fake breast is was established in the 90s, when implants were not anywhere near where they are now in terms of technology and all of that stuff. I'm sorry if this is more ranty than some of the other subjects. I have thought a lot about this subject, so may as well talk about it, right? That's why you're watching this video. But yeah, no, my boobs are very fake. 2,500 cc's, by the way, for people who don't know much about implants, is a very large implant. It's a cc is a milliliter, so people who know metric, it's 2,500 milliliters or 2.5 liters per implant, which is huge. A gallon is like 4 liters, so it's like a little over half a gallon in each of my boobs. They are very large implants. You just can't really see them if you don't know what you're looking for, because large real boobs on top. Question 9. Do you want larger boobs? Now, people will frequently hear, like, I have another video uploaded on my channel of me talking about why I went to get fake boobs when I already had such large real boobs. So they will watch that video, and then naturally I will ask, well, then do you want to go larger? And this is a really hard question for me to answer. Okay. So this chunk of the video is probably going to take me a little bit to get through. Do I want larger boobs? Some days. I know that a lot of people are going to hear me talking about this and be like, she's crazy, and other people will get it on some degree, but I don't think my boobs are that big for my frame. Like, I have very, very wide shoulders. I have a wide rib cage. I'm tall. I'm a very sturdy woman, and I think these implants fit me very well. I think they're pretty proportionate to me. I know people are going to disagree, and they'll be like, your boobs are so huge, and they're like disproportionately, hideously over large, or whatever random opinion someone has, and that's fine. You're allowed to have that opinion. You go crazy, but I don't have that opinion. I love cartoons. I love exaggerated, like just exaggerated versions of humanity. I find that thoroughly enjoyable to look at and to possess. So on some days it's like, yeah, larger boobs would be cool, because then I could actually be that disproportionate figure that I find so enchanting to look at. But no, because it's just like, it's too difficult to get implants that large. It was already very hard for me to get implants as large as I have. Like, I had to find, it took me forever to find the right surgeon. And even then it was so expensive. And it's like past this point, it's like, to get any larger, it's the surgery jumps up to like $20,000. And I can't spend that sort of money on surgery when I don't own a home. Like, it's just, yeah, for me, it's like some part of me in the back of my brain's like, oh yeah, even larger boobs, that does sound sexy and fun. And then every single logical, rational part of me is like, Penny, that's, you know, it's never going to happen. So, and I'm like, yeah, truth. So yes and no. Also, it's already like, when my boobs were real, it was pretty impossible finding clothing that fit me. Like, it was already ridiculously difficult. But I mean, honestly, it didn't really get any harder going to the size that I am now, because I was already forced to wear only stretchy clothing with my natural chest. But where I am right now, even stretchy clothing, like, I'm right at the edge of, if my boobs got even bigger, stretchy clothing would not be big enough to fit the upper part and still conform to the rest of my body. Like it would, like everything would be hugely baggy on me, even stretchy things, unless I only wore like 4-way spandex, which is just boring. It would really cut out options for me. So it wasn't that impactful going from where I was to where I am, but I think if I went further, it would be very impactful and irritating. And for that reason and all of the other ones, just nah, it's not worth it. And finally, the number one most asked question to Penny Underbust: what size are your breasts? And my answer to that is, I don't fucking know, and I don't care, and it doesn't matter. Don't know, don't care, doesn't matter. Like, the amount that it fluctuates from brand to brand is ridiculous. Like, one brand I'll be... I don't even want to say, like, what I might be in a brand, because there's only, like, 2 brands that even carry bras big enough to fit me. Like, it doesn't, like, you could say I'm a 37 flachibity Kazilli, and that'd get 10 people off because they get off on the concept of an arbitrary goddamn number and letter. Like, it does not fucking matter. If you are past a D, you are probably going to be anywhere within three different numbers and letters, and that will be a vaguely approximate thing. And it just... I wish I could express to you in a way that sufficiently explains to you how fucking unimportant bra sizes are once you're past a certain size. It's like, what size are you? Well, if it fits and it's comfortable, that's what I wear. And I can't order them online unless I know that I'll be able to return it if it doesn't fit. Like, it's just... I eyeball it. They're big. They're very large. That's what size my boobs are. Very large. So yeah, that was the top 10 most frequently asked things. I'm probably forgetting something. I spent all morning trying to put together the specific list, and some of them are asked more frequently than others. Some of them are very, very, very frequently asked. If you have any questions now that I've answered those, would like me to expand on any of my answers, or even just they raise other questions for you, please ask them down in the comment section, and I will actually do a Q&A video sometime in the future. I've wanted to do Q&A videos in the past, but anytime I've gone to Twitter and been ask me questions, it's always things that I don't really know how to answer, or things that the answer is just yes or no. And I find that they make boring videos. It's better if people specifically ask things that will trigger a story or an opinion or something like that. So yeah, ask things if you're interested and you would like me to expand on things. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all of the things from the bottom of my little black heart. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. This is Garnet, back together. And I'm never going down at the hands of the likes of you, because I'm so much better. And every part of me is saying, go get her. The two of us ain't gonna follow your rules. Come at me without any of your fancy tools. Let's go, just me and you. Let's go, just 1 on 2. Go ahead and try and hit me if you're able. Can't you see that my relationship is stable? I know you hate the way we intermingle, but I think you're just mad 'cause you're single. And we ain't gonna stop what we made together, and we are gonna stay like this forever. If you break us apart, we'll just come back newer, and we'll always be twice the gem that you are. I am made of love, and it's stronger than you.